These are the words from the first self-made female millionaire of America. Back in 1887, she was an uneducated single parent struggling to scrimp and save for her daughter's education. Living in unhygienic conditions, within a few years, she developed a horrible scalp disease that caused her to lose much of her hair. So she began to experiment with home remedies and cleansing agents, and successfully found a cure for her hair disease. Later on, she discovered that she was not the only one. Many other women of her day also suffered this malady, caused by infrequent washing, poor diet, and damaging hair treatments. With a great business sense and aspiration to help others, Walker began traveling, performing her scalp treatments, and teaching others. She began selling hair products and eventually formed her own company using her married name of Madam C.J. Walker. It was around this time that Walker began her lifelong philanthropy, pledging $1,000 to a local YMCA and providing scholarships for promising African American students. She identified the market and then set out to serve that market. She hired and trained her employees while selling a good, honest product. All of this while raising a family alone, and as a black woman in the 1890s. She proved herself as a determined woman who went to great lengths to further herself in a time when most African American women had few options open to them. Her dedication and perseverance paid off, making Madam Walker the first self-made female millionaire of any race in the United States. On May 25, 1990, Madam C.J. Walker passed away. Her last words recorded were, "I lived to help my people."
I made this documentary to accentuate the point that Madam C.J. Walker didn't ask for help from white folks. Madam C.J. Walker was nobody's victim. Madam C.J. Walker stood up on her own 2 goddamn feet and built a multi-million-dollar corporation under real oppression during a time where, by every standard, by every measurement, she shouldn't have been able to do what she did, but she was able to accomplish the impossible because her mind was geared to do that. And what I'm suggesting is something relatively simple. It's not impossible. Asking for reparations without political power and financial power to back it up is impossible. But doing what I'm about to ask you to do isn't. We as a group need to collectively target a specific product. For example, Coca-Cola or Baskin Robbins or a particular fast food chain. But let's just use Coca-Cola as an example. There are 28 to 32 million black people in this country currently. And if just 3 to 5% of us stop buying Coca-Cola for 5 business days, just 5 business days, not a month, not 3 or 4 weeks, not whatever, just 5 business days, what would that do to the price, the stock price of Coca-Cola as a corporation? What would that do to the company? What would that do to the international shareholders holding Coca-Cola stock? Let me tell you something. If we collectively did something like that, it would make local news, it would make national news, it would make international news. It would also shake the powers that be to their core. See, black people have only organized as a full unit for the civil rights movement. And then it was only maybe 12% of us that were actually involved with it or actively supported it. Just 12% of the black population. That's it. It changed the history and the trajectory of this particular country. It doesn't take that many people to basically reshape the world. Hell, it only takes one man to change history. But if we, as a people, could organize and shut down one product for 5 days, that's when things could change for the better for us as a community. Because it would show the world that we can move as a unit, that we can organize as a unit. Every horrible thing that has been done to the black community since 1968 is to prevent us as a people from moving as a unit. Moving jobs out of urban areas. Putting abortion clinics in every black neighborhood, in every black town in the nation. Supporting a political party that is in love with the idea of murdering black babies. Removing school choice. Destroying the public school structure. Breaking up the black family. Moving drugs into our community. All these things were done to make sure that we never move as a single solitary unit ever again. Because they know that the power and the strength of black people is unmatched by any other group on earth. When we move collectively and when we move together, we cannot be defeated by any force or any group. What I'm asking you to do and what I will ask you to do over the next few months is to organize and not buy a single product from a single corporation like Coca-Cola. If we could do that as a people, everything for us would change. The message that would send to the powers that be would be immeasurable. Until we learn to use our collective political power and financial power as a single unified unit, you can forget about reparations or anything the hell else. You're not gonna get it. We're not gonna get it. I often notice that the people that are talking about ADOS as it pertains to reparations never really speak about a detailed plan or detailed course of action on how to get it. All they do is rail on angrily, talking about how much we deserve it, but never get into real detail about how we actually get it. And ultimately, we are not going to get anything by asking for it or by protesting or the usual methodology. If you want reparations, if you want black people to be treated fairly, if you want our lives to improve in this country, we must learn how to move as a single unified unit. Wow, if you thought that video was cool, why not give us a like, a share, a follow, and subscribe to this channel on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.